Welcome everybody to the New Orleans Saints franchise on Madden 24. It is time for our second off season of this series. We have wrapped up here too with the Dallas Cowboys winning the Super Bowl for the second time already in our franchise. Even though I went into this game and I retired Mike McCarthy. I thought I'd have a new game plan, new playbook and stuff. I'll have to check on what their situation is, but I have not been able to actually keep the Cowboys from dominating this franchise as well. We are on time. We are ready, everybody. We've got some work to do. The Saints won 5 games this season. We only have a handful of selections. Now, with a couple retirements, we actually have cap space I did not expect to have. Demario Davis and Taysom Hill retiring saves us over $31 million for this coming season. Without that, we would have around $10 million in space. But there are a couple other moves we're going to make today that'll give us even more. We didn't get to explore free agency outside of the deals and the bargain bin last year. But this season, if players are interested, the right players, we have some money to spend. But I'm still thinking long-term with this team. I'm not looking for 29-year-old Band-Aids at every position, because I know that we need to find a new quarterback, develop them, build a new core defensively, because do you see the numbers over there? It ain't pretty. I did what I could with this defense, but it still wasn't a good unit. I appreciate that, Gary. Thank you for the super chat. Catch you in around an hour. I'm sure I won't make it that far because these off seasons always work pretty slowly. Although I do got some notes here with me so I can save myself a little bit of time. I already know who I want to use my private workouts on. I know what players I like at 4, which is where we select. I know what players I'd like to trade back for potentially. And I've got my mid-round steals, of which I have a list of 7 players that I think could be day 1 starters. All right. I wanted to show you one thing because when we move to the Super Bowl week, of course, the developments then update. And we actually had some movement on defense. So check this out. Tommy Tomlinson, who did not win Rookie of the Year, actually ends up earning Superstar naturally. So that's how close he was actually to getting to Superstar X Factor. That's a huge win. Now, this player has already rejected all of my contract offers and isn't all that interested in coming back. But Paulson Adebo has earned Superstar development because our terrible run defense allowed him to rack up a bunch of tackles along with 2.5 sacks and 2 interceptions. If I didn't show you the name or position, you'd say that's your starting linebacker. No, it's Paulson Adebo. Would I ever consider doing a Bears series again in the future or doing NHL content in the future? Yeah, I think I would. I'd be open to doing the Bears again at some point. You know, I'm repeating some teams over on the second channel for series after some time passes and the team's a little bit different. I'd probably open it back up to them at some point. Although I'm sure you're hoping that I won't have to. You know, you got a couple premium picks to spend here and a chance to not need to rebuild as hard if they're used properly. Let's go. Offseason is the best part of franchise mode. I agree, Michael. Thank you for the 29-month membership. And Robert's here for the 57th month. That's a whole lot of months, guys. Closing in on 5 years as a member, over 10 watching. Robert's been here for a decade plus, guys. Shout out to Robert. I appreciate the super chat. Thank you for your support. I see you here every off season, it feels like, in member stream. And then Robert with the super chat. I appreciate that. Kane, thanks for keeping me entertained all your series since I was in high school. I'm 28 now. I appreciate that, Robert. I started making content here when I was 18. I'm now 31. I am as old as the oldest starting running back in the NFL. So I watched Raheem Mostert a little closer this year because shout out to our 31-year-old running backs out there. A Cincinnati Reds MLB The Show 24 franchise. I don't know yet what my plans are for the show because I want to do a lot more football on the second channel this year. I've been doing baseball now for like 9 months straight. And we're also supposed to get college football this year. So that makes it really hard to think about what I can do in MLB when I still have the A's going, and who knows how much longer that goes. I have no idea what the future holds there. I'm not past Game 6 of the ALCS. I have not played anything more. Kane just wanted to say I'm glad to be part of the best sports games community on YouTube. Indeed, Nyrus, we have a fantastic community here. I enjoy interacting with y'all. These streams are awesome. Love doing the member streams every month. And, of course, the back and forth we have in the comments as well. The comment sections, on a lot of YouTube channels, hard to really get a lot of productive feedback. A lot of it is just kind of, memeing and a lot of nonsense at times. But I think our comment sections over here are pretty darn good, honestly. Let's go get that tight end in the draft. We got a bunch of options, Jalen. I think that they've tweaked the tight end weights in their class algorithm to be a lot stronger. There are a lot of good vertical threats. I have starters I like from anywhere to the top 10 to round 3 to 4. I have 2 players here on my list of steals, players that I think you can get after the second round that are starters, which isn't really steals, but I wanted to make a category for these players that you can plug in right away. So, the ability for us, a team in our position, to find starters in rounds 3 or 4 is pretty crucial. And we're not coming into this draft with a full arsenal of picks is the problem. Have I ever been recognized in public by a sub? I have not been recognized in public. I have been recognized by someone who came to do maintenance on one of my appliances before. That was interesting. Hey, Kane, do you think the Commanders should draft the new quarterback with the 2 pick or stick with Howell? As much as I wanted to believe in Howell, I saw too much where I would say that's not a franchise quarterback. And if you have a chance at 2, the pass is too good. The chance is too good to pass on a quarterback in favor of Howell at this stage. How's it going, Kane? It's going good, Deck. 60 months, 5 years. Where are you at, maintenance man? We need the story. Yeah, he didn't make it known at all during most of the appointment, but at the end, towards when he was wrapping up his work, he was like, I think I know you from somewhere. And that's when we connected the dots. And then we just talked football for like 10 minutes. I'm like, dude, we could have been doing this for a whole hour. I've been sitting here bored. He was true professional. Because if hey, I know you from somewhere, and then say I'm not that guy, and you do it at the very beginning of the appointment, now you just made things weird. Any QBs you might be thinking about drafting? So I only have one quarterback here that I really like, and that's David Mayweather. And I actually think he's a little more intriguing in some ways than Jake Haener because his accuracy is really similar, like a first-round pick. Now, Mayweather doesn't have any mobility. He's not going to have good speed or anything, so he's not breaking the pocket to do a lot, but his pocket skills are good. My issue here is I'm pretty much guaranteeing you he's going to be high 60s normal development, and you have to take him probably 4th round if we're being generous. I still think I can use that 4th round pick on a starter somewhere else. So will I get to Mayweather? Probably not unless it's the 5th round or later. Do I think it's fair to judge Bryce Young this year? Because personally, I feel you can't judge his skill set too much with the O-line this year. I mean, with the O-line, pass catchers, the scheme they ran, I honestly think that by the end of the year, it might have been more beneficial to just play Dalton, because I didn't think that there was a lot of developing going on with Bryce. Save that Packers game, which I didn't end up seeing a whole lot of that one. Maybe that's the one saving grace, but at the end of the day, they still got shut out the last 2 weeks of the season. Sorry, Panther fans. Kane, I've been looking forward to this offseason since like week 10. Hey, me too. Glad it's finally here, ready for some big moves. I appreciate that, Kyle. Who do you think my Hawks get as head coach? And what do you think your Vikings do this year? I could see them going the Dan Quinn route, just trying like almost to do what the Saints did with Sean Payton to Dennis Allen. Quinn hasn't coached there in probably 7-8 years, I'd have to imagine. But there would be some continuity there with the front office and everything. And if they want, I don't know if they want a fresh start, because maybe they wanted to just clean break from Pete and then go in a different direction. And in that case, it's a free-for-all, because there's so many teams that need coaches right now. It's kind of outrageous. And I wonder if that's factored into the Cowboys and Eagles looking like they're going to stay put, because there's already so many teams on the market and only a couple premium options. Now, some of the most premium of premium options when you look at Belichick being available for a team. And right now, Atlanta could end up being that team. But if you're the Cowboys, you know, Belichick's not going to play second fiddle to Jerry Jones. Maybe you get Ben Johnson, maybe. But if not, who are you replacing McCarthy with to take over a playoff-ready Cowboys team? A first-time coach? That's ridiculous, honestly. I think Seattle sticks with Geno because they don't pick early enough to take one of the top guys. If they do take a quarterback, I think it's a good situation for Geno to play and for that quarterback to sit. Do I think Bill going to the Falcons is a good idea? I do, because there's already offensive infrastructure there with the run blocking offensive line unit, Kyle Pitts, Drake London, Bijan Robinson. Belichick can't draft playmakers anymore, it seems. So with playmakers already there, let him cook on defense and bring in an OC who can actually use these guys properly. I think it'd be a great fit. Any team that doesn't already have a wide receiver one should not take Belichick. That's my thought. Or you'll end up with Aaron Dobson 2.0. Or maybe he'll take the next Sony Michel. Who is the best coach for Bryce Young? Probably Ben Johnson, but that's the case for so many teams out there. Ben Johnson, though, a lot of Carolina ties. Walk-on quarterback at UNC. He's from South Carolina. Not to get your hopes up or anything. Even if we lose to the Ravens, I'm really excited to see my Texans next year. Man, what a turnaround under D'Amico and CJ Stroud. Happy for Texan fans out there, and I appreciate the super chat. Athy? Sounds better. I think. That sounds right. I want Quinn or Vrabel. Yeah, those seem to be the front runners for defensive guys. Brian Flores, too, who did a good job with the Vikings this year. I'm pretty hopeful for the Texans' future after this year, Jalen. I mean, I didn't think their defense could get this much better. They improved tremendously against the run, which they were one of the worst teams for a long time. And then the strides they took with CJ Stroud and the young playmakers there, it just feels so good. It almost feels like it was too easy. Like you went to Madden and just drafted a quarterback and a receiver and just fixed all these problems in no time. What do you think of the Pats having Gerard Mayo as the new head coach? I'm excited about it. Obviously, he was on that staff as the linebackers coach and played there for a long time. So I really feel like the recent players to turn head coach have done such a good job. You got Dan Campbell, who was with the Saints for a while. You've got D'Amico Ryans now going to the Texans this year and having that success. Mike Vrabel and the success he had in Tennessee. A lot of playoff seasons there. I'm really interested in how this turns out. Antonio Pierce as well. Gold Sparrow, I appreciate you becoming a new member here for the second month. And we're going to get into the off-season soon. I might at some point have to just say I'm going to catch up on Super Chats and stuff in a few minutes or something like that. I need to open up a page so I can see that stuff when the time is right, because we do have to get the show on the road here. I appreciate all the support, guys. Thank you. Now just to remember where they hid Super Chat messages. Yikes. I have an old bookmark that's actually just a dead link now, so don't know. I found it. Thoughts on Harbaugh to LA Chargers? I'd love to see Harbaugh back in the NFL personally. I think that'd be awesome. So, yes, I am all in on that. They do need a culture builder too after this. I feel like the Brandon Staley era just... I don't know, man. At first, he looked like this really cool, analytical, aggressive coach. But then it's like he's a defensive guy who coaches a terrible defense that can't play up to their talent level. They never win big games. They still charger all their leads in the end. There's just nothing redeeming about the Staley era, unfortunately. When did I simulate? Oh, yeah, I simulated the staff week not long ago. Why do I think it is Mike Tomlin's job security is always called into question? He's done so much with bottom 5 QB play the past 2 seasons. You know, they're a team that seems to hover around the wild card hunt a lot. I think it's been a long time since the Steelers improved overall as a team. They've kind of flatlined a little bit. They've plateaued. I don't know. I've seen a lot of it too from some Steeler fans that seem to be a little bit fed up. I don't know what to do there because I do think that coaching is a shelf life job. Eventually, you're no longer the guy for the job. That doesn't mean you're a bad coach. It's like when Andy Reid left Philadelphia. It wasn't because he was a bad coach. It's because his time was up there. It wasn't going to get better under him going forward. It ran its course, and that's what coaching is. I don't know if the Steelers are there because the offensive personnel in different areas has come into question the last few years. When Ben was really old, the team was limited. They had to play out of the shotgun. The line was terrible for a long time. They haven't been able to bridge that gap to the next quarterback cleanly. I'm going to catch up on Super Chats here in a few minutes, guys, if you don't mind. So let's go, I'll show you my sliders I'm using here. Matt 10s from the Operation Sports forums. Although I play with the CPU run blocking a little bit higher, 1 point higher. In the next video, or in the preseason, I get asked an awful lot about, Kane, why do your games play so good? I'm going to show you what I do when I'm changing my sliders, because I don't just go into this menu and edit them. And I do more than go to the main menu and import them. I do a full-on profile reset. I delete my profile, so when I load up the game, it's like I'm loading into it for the first time. I plug in all my settings, then I import. I'll show you how I do it. That's the only thing that I can think of that can help some of you. Because this game, you know, it's built year after year after year on top of old code and who knows what. This is an old game with a fresh coat of paint. And that gets updates every year. And so I do think after a while, sometimes the gameplay feels like it gets out of sync and there are just some animations that don't look right. Blocking is super stagnant and sometimes the game just needs a good reset. And that's what I do. And that's the reason I think that my slider experience is probably easier than so many others. So yes, we are going to dive into this offseason here. We have coaching hires to take care of. on the OC and DC front, all right? So, I wanted to go into here, and I already have a couple of coaches in mind. Here are staff moves throughout the league, as the Browns are hiring a new head coach, so are the Bucks, and there are coordinator changes all over the place. Sean McVay's out, for instance. D'Amico, too. What's up with that? Hey, Kane, here's to a good year, and as an avid Purdue fan, please keep Aiden O'Connell as backup for a long time as you can. As someone who watched a lot of his college games, he is dependable, able, and probably make a good future coach. I think he is a good backup at least. I'm cool developing him. I'm going to be trying to find a starter, though, in my Raiders offseason that's going to be happening on the second channel. I'm not sure which day yet, but that's just going to be a video. And I'm looking forward to getting that series really off the ground. Episode 1 was posted just a couple days ago. So if you want more Madden content from me over on that channel, MrHurriicane LP, I do series a little bit differently than at this channel. But if you just like the way I do things with team building and whatnot, that is another place you can see my stuff. So I did think about hiring those guys as coordinators. My issue was I couldn't see what their trees would be because it was showing me their head coach coaching trees and not their offensive and defensive coordinator trees. So I found coordinators that already seem to have what I'm looking for. I'm not on the most recent patch. No, I heard about the broken fatigue, but I'm not on the 1.13. I'm at least one patch behind that. Let's fill staff. I did preview the free agent quarterbacks. We should see like Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, and Sam Darnold. I also have one trade option I am interested in, depending on the price. All right, so OC, I was looking for Will Hudson. Because I've gone through these candidates already. So Hudson has some traits that are going to help out the quarterbacks, the power blocking, which I'm more concerned with than finesse blocking, and then halfback stuff as well. So Will Hudson is going to be our offensive coordinator. And we'll go through his talent tree. So if we can get a quarterback, he's going to be a good boost for them. He's going to help their deep accuracy by 3, their throw under pressure by 2. That's a really important rating for me and a big reason why I wanted him. He also has halfback guru, which will help out stiff arm and spin moves and eventually might help a few other key traits for us. But I felt like his trees are exactly where I want them to go. Justin Fields got a contract extension in this series, so he is not available. Now on defense, I was down with either D'Amico, but again, I can't see his tree. Because it shows staff and then the other development things. The other one I liked was, my handwriting has gotten worse. Marlon Burgess. There he is. So Marlon Burgess. Agility for outside linebackers, not really critical. Second level, block shed for middle linebacker. We got to get our run defense better, right? Strength for outside linebackers, tackling for corners, hit power for safeties, and then pursuit for free and strong safety. I like to see what D'Amico Ryans has. I think that'd be kind of cool to have him as the defensive coordinator. Although, what about... Are all those spots filled on other teams. I can't remember if they must fill at the simulation point, right? Exactly, Remington. What's your plan with Carr? Maybe trade him for a third? My plan is to cut him because I don't think that he really has trade value with his contract and regression and benching this year. Let's see. If I hire D'Amico Ryans, he doesn't have the any coordinator unlockables. So he's best as a head coach. It is weird how he'd be so developed as all these guys would be developed as a head coach with nothing as coordinator. But if he has nothing, then it doesn't really benefit the defense. So we're going to go with the two guys I originally had in mind here, Will Hudson, Marlon Burgess, and go with that. What should the Bears do at quarterback? They should probably take Caleb Williams. All right, I think we can move past the staff week then, and we're going to have a couple cuts to make here. Is Will Hudson related to the Gophers' Maurice Hudson? Oh, I hope. I can only hope. In the offseason, when you can sign free agents, if you cut Jimmy G, you save $28 million. Not sure if you saw my comment on last video. That's a good call. That would definitely help in my Raiders series. And I probably will be cutting Jimmy G. Just like I'm about to make a couple cuts here. How I make my thumbnails? Photoshop. And then a lot of YouTube tutorials to figure out what to do in it. That's really all there is from my end. I don't have a lot of Photoshop skill, but I've picked up on a few techniques and I got some templates that I like. Trying to make the case for John Waters. He was the most efficient back this year, and he has the dev that Miller doesn't. He deserves a role. From Boogie Turner. This was a super chat a little bit earlier. I do like Waters. I wanted to see if those running backs held their development. Waters did not. So it helped him during his rookie season, but now his ratings are really similar to Kendre Miller. So honestly, it's still going to probably be like a hot hand approach. Miller has a little bit more top end speed, but they're really similar players. I also think Miller has a slight edge in receiving, because he's actually having a lot of his ratings deducted right now, including his catching. But I don't see there being a huge addition to the running back room. But what I think we need... I can't even do this yet. That's right. Alvin Kamara is injured. Therefore, I cannot release him right now. He lost development. He's down to an 82 overall. He is the number 31 ranked running back in the league now. And I don't want that. 29 million cap. I can't trade that. But one player I can release right now, and we will, is going to be the one and only Derek Carr. It wasn't that his play was atrocious. It's that we are a team needing a reset, and Derek Carr is too old for that reset. We're going for a clean break here, and we are releasing Derek Carr. We'll eat some dead cap, but we're going to be freeing up a heavy bit there. The future is bright, says Jacoby Pearman. I sure hope so. What would I give up to trade for Justin Fields in real life? Probably... It depends how desperate of a team I was, honestly, because I'm not giving up like an early first for him or anything like that. If I have a chance to take one of the better rookies this year, I'm not using that pick on Justin Fields instead. I'm thinking somewhere in the second round plus another player or pick, similar to like a Sam Darnold second chance deal. I think Fields has shown more than Darnold, but I still have doubts about him being like a long-term starting franchise quarterback. And I feel like the Bears were almost telling us they feel the same way with the way they ran their offense. I understand Luke Getsy didn't know what he was doing, but like, I just feel like they didn't even let Fields, I don't know. I felt like they were containing him. Not that he's not I don't think he's a franchise quarterback, but it felt like they were always containing him so he would screw things up as little as possible. So, we have a dilemma on this team where we have so many needs, right? We have no second round pick. We have 2 threes. And I have a lot of players I like in that 3rd to 4th round range that I think could come in and start. I've got a center on here, a middle linebacker, a couple tight ends, a few D tackles. I feel like I want more mid-round picks. So I made note of the players I like at 4 and the trade back options that I like. So I want to show you like the player I'm most excited about right now because he's not even projected to go into the middle of the round. So I went through a lot of my favorite players in the previous video, but Juan Beard, he was the pass rusher that I thought brought the most to the table. 21 years old, excellent athleticism, and the best blend of pass rush I've seen out of anybody in this class. To have A in one trait, B in the other. A finesse, B power, and you're getting B block shed, and you're getting strength. I just don't see there being anyone else right now that tops Juan Beard, even though there are edge rushers projected to go earlier. For instance, the number 1 player in the class projected is Jerry Pounds. Jerry Pounds is 23. He's older. Now, when players come into Madden, it doesn't matter if they're rookies. They develop faster at younger ages. So a 23-year-old rookie and a 23-year-old third-year player are developing at the same speed if their position is identical, right? It's the age that matters, not experience. So, Jerry Pounds, similarly a really good athlete. Now, I don't know as much about his finesse or power, but I have to factor that unknown into the grade here, right? Like, he might have A finesse, B power, but if I just sit here and bank on that, I might be wrong. When I already know that Beard has what I'm looking for there. So, I feel like I could trade down possibly from 4 because Beard shows up 18th here on the board. So if I trade down to, say, 9, could I take him there and get a 3rd plus? Otherwise, I have to trade actual good players, and we don't have a lot of actual good players. So the players I think that we would make the most sense trading are the 2 players here at the very top of the board. Marshawn Lattimore and Ryan Ramczyk. Both are premium players, but a little bit older. I also think Eric McCoy, because I feel like I can replace a center. As a matter of fact, I have an option here I like in the 3rd or 4th round. So, right off the bat here, these 2 are tradable. I think I'd be willing to listen to offers. I can't add to block quite yet. Then you got Olave, who's not going anywhere. Kamara, who I'm looking to release. Adebo, who's a free agent. Jawan Johnson, who's a free agent. Pete Werner is a free agent. It looks a lot better because we have all this cap space now. But I still, I don't know what this year is going to bring our way. So let's go and re-sign some players now. Right away here, we're picking up Chris Olave's 5th-year option. He's just an outstanding player. That's a no-brainer. Now, we have another player here with an option. We're going to be declining Trevor Pennings. Because I have no interest in paying him $19 million 2 seasons from now, and I can probably sign him for less. And he's coming off a bad year. Juwan Johnson does not have interest in coming back, and he's 28 years old, so I'm going to let him test free agency. This is a really good class to find a new tight end. Paulson Adebo. This is the one thing here. If I wanted to tag him, I can for $23 million. That is a huge premium when he's actually looking for like not even $10 million a season. I'd be paying like a 200% markup to franchise tag him when maybe that money can be best used elsewhere. So I'm not tagging him. Pete Werner. He is like the definition of average starter here. He offers enough in coverage to throw him out there on third downs. He has good speed, above average run stopping ability. He's a solid starter. After Demario Davis retires, you'd like to have someone who can cover a little bit still on the team. That's one thing we're missing. And I would like to bring him back if this is all it's going to take here. Not even $7 million a season. I'm going to offer this. We got it done. Adebo went to Superstar Dev because last year he had 100 plus tackles, 2.5 sacks, and 2 INTs. He was one of the most productive overall corners, and it earned him the boost. All right, we're going to let Jawan Jennings test. Maybe he comes back later. AJ Epinesa will test. Peyton Turner will test. Eric Stills, not for that money. The issue here is when you sign guys off the practice squad, they're then in Madden given 1-year deals, and then they're just free agents. Whereas in real life, if you have under 3 years of experience, you would be an exclusive rights free agent, which is similar to like an MLB, where you can't negotiate anywhere else, but we still have to work out a deal. And in baseball, those renewal contracts are just kind of baseline. They're kind of like, there's no real negotiating going on there. No one is going to be negotiating for millions of dollars that early in their major league career. But in Madden, this is treated like a regular free agent, a 6-year pro. So he's already asking for $3.5 million, which is something this game needs to address. That is why at the beginning of last year, I went through every UDFA that made an active roster, and I edited them to have a 3-year contract, because that's what undrafted free agents get when they are signed to active rosters out of training camp or right away. Now, in the real NFL, after 3 years, they're restricted free agents, not unrestricted, meaning the only way another team can take them away is if we can apply the whatever it's called, so they have to give up a pick. So for instance, like when the Vikings had Adam Thielen, who was undrafted, and he hit his 3-year mark, I think that he was given an original round tender of some sort, or I forget what it was. Maybe a 2nd round tender because he wasn't drafted. So you'd have to give up a 2nd round pick to acquire him. I'm sure that made sense somewhere down the line. It's a little more in the weeds, but it's something the game needs. Justin Jones, I'd like to come back, but I'm balking at $7 million right now. One thing that they did do this year that is really cool, I'm going to sign Evan Brown, actually, because he has good depth here. Oh, never mind. Negotiations go both ways. If you haven't already done so, please drop a like on the video, by the way. That'd be very helpful. One thing they did, though, in this game that's really cool is, well, it was something they should have done a long time ago, really. In Madden, every year, the cap goes up like it does in real life. The issue is that player demands were not scaling with the cap. So, like, franchise would just get easier and easier the deeper you got, because players wouldn't ask for more money when there's a bigger pie to grab a piece from. So, you'd end up with teams having all kinds of cap space and basically signing all their free agents. And the tag on Juwan Johnson's a very premium number as well. Now, I'm going to be put at a crossroads here if we encounter a very specific situation, okay? We do not have a quarterback of the future right now. There is one who might be available, and I would be irresponsible if I didn't think about trying to sign him, okay? It's Tua Tagovailoa. He is an 88 overall, one of the better quarterbacks in our franchise, coming off a 15-win season where he led the league in passing. If Tua's there for $50 a year, we can afford it. The issue is he stepping onto a team that can put the pieces around him? 32nd ranked defense. Is there enough offensively? Lowball him. There's going to be about 10 teams, I think, offering him a contract, which means I'm getting put on red right away. Hey, Kane, love the content. Missed a lot of the Titans series because I was in boot camp, but I'm glad to be back for this one. Glad you can make it, Michael. Good to have you here. Wanted to catch up on a couple of these other ones that I had missed here. What's your... Oh, yeah, I already asked about... was asked about Derek Carr's deal. I think I got caught up. Or actually, I forgot to refresh the page. There we go. I'm good. Are you going to switch the minutes per quarter? I was going to look into that earlier. I'm going to go into my backup file that is still saved at the end of the offseason or the end of the regular season. And I'm going to go through and I want to make sure that our games are getting the same amount of plays that everybody else is, because it feels like we might be on the higher end. I will go through that. Thank you. Blake Groupie got star dev, I see. Our kicker sure did. He was kicker of the year. The prestigious award. My auto subs are default, Cody. I do so much manual substitution because the auto subs in this game don't work the way I like. Episode 2 of the Raiders will either be this weekend or Monday. Monday at the latest, possibly Saturday, Sunday, Monday. One of those three. I have a game in the A's to do. I've got to start editing this beast down. Next week, we're streaming some preseason. Ooh, what day am I doing that? I got some things to figure out. We'll be good. All right. Free agency is here, y'all. We got some money to burn. I want to see if I can cut Kamara. If it's opening up that cap yet. It's not. I'm going to save about $16 more million, though, when I do. I'm not sure I can release him until after free agency, actually. Here we go. Ooh, I was wondering if he'd be available, but it's 11 teams interested here in Nick Chubb. Coming up on 3 years as a member. Gotta tip my cap to the best creator out there. Also go blue 2023 national champions, baby. Thank you, Franz. And yes, congrats to the Michigan Wolverines, who did not have to face Georgia. Did have to face, some good competition on their way to the title. But I would have liked to see, if there were ever a year for an expanded playoff, man, it feels like they should have just bumped it up this year and said deal with it. You'll notice that interest bar. There are so few players actually interested in coming here. Tua is interested. Tua wants to play in a warm weather state. I'm wondering why. So Tua's out there if we want to try making that move. That would eat up a lot of our budget. I'm going to look elsewhere. So actually, yeah, I have no idea what the Dolphins are doing at quarterback. They might be still negotiating with Tua, but they didn't have any cap space. That's why Waddle's hit the market as well. I'm going to go defense first. So we still need edge rushers. Looking a little thin here at left end. D-tackle, that's also a big need. This is our range right here. Like high 70s. Milton Williams. Whoops. Run stopper archetype. Doesn't have the strength, though, that you would think. He's kind of interesting. You could probably develop him a little bit. The strength, I'd just like to be a bit higher. Change scheme and try to get Waddle. I don't think I'm in on Jalen Waddle. I'm not in on competing with those guys when I'm about to be paying Chris Olave big money. I'll see where I want to throw this money, but I do have interest in Milton Williams. I personally don't get the Tua hate in real life. He's not a game changer, but he is above average. That's the thing. Any quarterback who's ever fit the above average but not a game changer has always been heavily criticized. Eli Manning, Kirk Cousins, Tony Romo, Dak Prescott. These guys are the most criticized quarterbacks in the league usually. Andy Dalton, when he was with the Bengals, that player is always criticized. DJ Jones, 30 years old. And then a reunion with Justin Jones is also possible. Eli has rings, and he's still got that criticism. See, Jones has the skill set more in line with where I want it. He's just a little bit older. 4 years older. But now that Eli is kind of like the goofy uncle on TV when they do the Manning cast, like the 180 on Eli is incredible because he's actually excellent TV. Aleem McNeil for a second straight franchise, y'all. What do you think? That's the skill set right there. No team's interested either. Been watching since the 5th grade. I'm 21 now. It's been an amazing journey. When's the last time you signed a quarterback instead of drafting? Manning to the Rams? Man, Josh Rosen, was that a trade in my Broncos franchise? Like, I've always been so draft and develop, but it's not as easy right now. I do like Aleem McNeil a lot. Sometimes it's like, he just did that in the past franchise, but he is the ideal fit there. Now, there are some D tackles I like in this class, so we'll see if I find other players I want to target instead. But it looks like you'd expect, it's hard to find really good edge rushers just on the street right now. Hear me out. Olave Waddle duo with a rookie quarterback next year. Just an idea. Love the content. By the way, I've been watching since the 8th grade. I'm 24 now, expecting a kid. Congrats to you, and that's a full decade right there. Y'all just grew up watching the content. Probably takes you 10 years to finish one of these series. JOK? Not a pass rusher, but I didn't expect to see him here. That one is interesting. That would give us a linebacker after getting Pete Werner, if we were to go after him. I can't see us being in the corner market. Like, I have interest in bringing Adebo back, but I wasn't really thinking heavily about cornerbacks as much. But I am going to offer to him for sure. We have a good thing going in the secondary, about the only good thing we had going on defense, right? We've got to beat a couple other teams, too. Thoughts on Ben Johnson? Where do you think he goes? If I had to guess where he ended up, I think it would be somewhere a little more established. Like the Chargers, I think, would be a good fit if they didn't end up with Harbaugh. I would like to see him go to the Panthers because the Panthers just need something good to happen. And he has Carolina ties. Yo, a buddy of mine I play with in high school is in here. A young linebacker. Look him up. Dorian Williams, probably on the Bills. Is he here in our free agent market, or is he too young? Clowney's available. I appreciate the super chat. Oh yeah, Monty Rice. I wasn't able to develop him in the Titans series as I wanted to initially. So I've offered to Adebo. Tyrann Mathieu would like to come back. There's actually a veteran safety I had interest in. Tell me if you've heard this one before. Y'all already know who it is, too. You know. Do I try it again? He has the hybrid skill set that I like so much. Our safety situation hasn't been great. I don't like the safety depth in this draft class. I may give him an offer. The safeties we've had in this series all want to come back. I'm going to throw an offer here at Jabril Peppers. I'm not going to, like... I don't know if I'll go high enough to really make this happen. But he would be an excellent fit for what I want to do. Like a perfect fit. And that's not moving the running back. I tried that. We got to let that go, guys. That was like 6 years ago. I moved Jabril Peppers to running back and ruined his career. So I think we found that it's going to be tough to address a lot of these needs in free agency. Ooh. Jedrick Wills. The opposite of Trevor Penning, who's like pure run blocker. Jedrick Wills is pure pass blocker. All depends on the scheme you're running, you know? Oh yeah, am I going to be offering here to Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah? Because he's 25. Only 2 teams interested. We got the cap space. Yeah, I'm giving him an offer. I'm actually going to offer him big money too, because I think he can be a really good player for us. Which means I probably don't have the money right now to throw at Tua if I keep these guys up here. You made me like Jabril. Been watching since 6th. That's awesome. What up, Kane? Checking in from work. Anything I missed so far? Hope you're well. Just me taking forever to do this show as usual. Appreciate it, Mike. Glad you could be here. Shout out to your Bills. Facing KC again. What is Holland at free safety looking for? Could be a steal. I kind of skipped over a lot of players that didn't show high interest or any interest just because it's really hard to get them. Like Holland would be great, but I need at least a little on that interest meter because I'm playing on the higher interest difficulty setting. Because like, yeah, just in a vacuum, I want that player. But he don't want to come here. So we either target these guys for defensive upgrades or we pull offers for McNeil and Peppers because we're the only teams offering right now. And we do join the Tank for Tua 2.0 campaign. Hey, Kane, are you mad that Jordan Love is great? Who paid you to tell me that? I wish I could be more of a Jordan Love hater right now. But the fact that he has managed to... The thing here that I look for, a trait I look for in really good quarterbacks, is being able to play aggressively while avoiding turnovers. Sometimes it's inevitable, and sometimes you can still be great if your like high variance play, you know, shows up and you throw picks, but you make up for it. But like he is avoiding turnovers now for the last couple months. I don't think he's been picked off, and they're opening up the downfield stuff. I don't know exactly what they're doing schematically, but the dude is always throwing it to open guys, it seems. But he deserves credit at the same time. And yeah, it does kind of tick me off. I don't think I'm going to jump into the Tua sweepstakes here. I didn't take a quarterback in the first round last year because I wanted to start building up the team. And that's why I ended up with Tommy Tomlinson instead. We're not any closer. We need to build up more of the core that the quarterback can step into. And then off to the races we go. This might not be our year to compete. I'm going to keep these 4 here. Huntley, he is an option. I didn't really go through the other lower rated quarterbacks. So it doesn't appear they like us very much, except for like Mike White and Bailey Zappi. The guys I was interested in here are not reciprocating. Jordan Love. Oh, that would hurt. Oh, man, he's good. I have no good reason to not offer a contract to Jordan Love. Because what I was going to do was a less competitive move. Well, first off, he'd have to accept the deal. Second off, the player I was thinking about acquiring if this situation didn't work was Baker Mayfield. Love's accuracies are super solid, though. Oh, this would hurt, but it's the right move for the team, I think. Kane, go for Jared Goff. Perfect bridge. Redemption again. The issue is that we might be able to build the bridge, but there's nothing on the other side right now because of this quarterback class. Goff is coming off 24-9, 28-8. Jordan Love is coming off of 25-10, 24-7. I hate to say it, but Love is such a fit for what I want to do, and he's right here, and he might be able to be signed for a reasonable contract. He also may not accept this because he has no interest in coming here. Zach Wilson's another option. Same age as Jordan Love, but not as well developed. Throw under pressure is a big concern there. It's a much better positive here with Love. Ain't no way we cut Derek Carr to be looking at Zach Wilson. Kinda. Trey Lance? Accuracies aren't where Love's is. You can do more on the ground, and it would be fun to have a crack at developing Lance. Didn't Bengal have him in his series? Am I remembering that correctly? As a Packer fan, please get Love. I think I'm going to give Love an offer. I'm going to make Jordan Love turn me down. The mixed feelings if that works. Jabril Peppers, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, Paulson Adebo, Jordan Love, and Aleem McNeil. All right. Here we go. Evaluate those offers. Ooh, Packers trying to bring back Jordan Love suddenly. Go with Huntley at quarterback. He develops pretty well in Madden. Also would be okay bridge quarterback for a few years on a cheap deal. Yeah, got a lot of guys there with really tight, clustered skill sets. I think that we'll be able to get one of them. That's a good start. We got JOK, Paulson Adebo, and Aleem McNeil. So Adebo comes back. We keep the secondary intact, and then we got some linebackers here to play with now. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. We had to get better in coverage. And I'm really excited about this. He's got the skill set here I wanted to add. We got a run stopper here in Aleem McNeil at 25. We keep up our trend of going after younger free agents. Yeah, 90 speed, 90 pursuit. He should easily eat. If he is still star dev next year, something went wrong along the way, because he should eat up the stat sheet. Jabril Peppers still out there. Jordan Love still out there. Let's see. Nick Chubb to the Bears. Tua Tagovailoa. Tua the Texan Tagovailoa. What about Stroud? I thought most of the AI with that kind of got fixed up. Like, CJ Stroud should have quarterback of the future. Can I undo that? I might undo that one. This is Stroud coming off year 2. He has day 1 starter and franchise quarterback. I gotta undo that. I'm helping you. This is one thing I actually respect a lot when devs put stuff like this in. When they know their AI can't catch everything, or it's not, you know, as good as it could be. Just giving you the ability to say no. Now, anybody that I undo, I'm not going to pursue. I don't have a lot of cap space available to do anything while this money's in limbo. Yes! Jabril Peppers! We got him! Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, Jabril Peppers, Paulson Adebo, Aleem McNeil. Reinforcements for the defense. I can be really creative here with Jabril Peppers. Oh, this is too good, man. This is too good. He's wearing 5 like Reggie Bush should have been able to with the Saints. My poor Browns Ohio State friend is having a rough 2 weeks. Browns playoff loss, Michigan title. Ohio State hired Bill O'Brien. Texans fan me is happy. Isn't Bill O'Brien a decent college OC, or? Because he was with Alabama, right? Jalen Waddle going to the Titans. Greg Newsome to the Colts. Ooh, Justin Reed going to the Bucks. I can't increase this offer by much at all. Let's see what happens. Personally, I did think that Nick Sirianni should be fired after the Eagles collapse this year, because I personally, my philosophy with coaches is that they all have a shelf life, and that you should be more patient with a rebuilding team than a team in their position, because they want the results now. And every NFL team at some point is going to hit a lull. And I think that you learn a lot about a coach and how they respond to that. And I think Sirianni's done all the wrong things. Made a completely busted DC change. And not only that, the Eagles never got out of their rut. Like, San Francisco has a 3-game losing streak this year. Every team in the playoffs right now has a stretch where they, you know, there's a little cause for concern, but they get out of it. The Eagles never got out of it. It's now a 6-week dilemma. 6+ week dilemma. You lost to the Arizona Cardinals and the Giants in back-to-back weeks and then got blown out by Baker Mayfield in the playoffs. Why should Sirianni come back? You're going to fire him next year anyway. The Packers are outspending a team in free agency. This game's so unrealistic. I appreciate that, Michael. Thank you for the super chat. Moving on to next week. I still cannot release Kamara. My available salary cap now reads as $28 million. That means Jordan Love went back to Green Bay. Tua, you got to stop going to Houston, buddy. Wow, Michael Thomas to Carolina. Packers spent on Jawan Johnson too, just to rub it in my face. You're not getting Jordan Love, and by the way, we're taking your tight end. I do want to inquire with the Vikings quick to see what it would take to get Baker, because I do think that he is a little bit more ready to step in than some of the other options there. But I have a feeling if it costs me a mid-round pick, which it should, to me, that's starting players I'm giving up to get him, and I just don't want to do that. Increase Stroud's overall, so they temporarily, that actually be kind of interesting to do. Like, his numbers actually improved in year 2 here. And the thing I'm looking at as well is the fact that he actually has the tags. Like, they're not supposed to be targeting a quarterback by definition. Teams are unlikely to draft a replacement, but they'll still offer Tua Tagovailoa $50 million a year. Franchise quarterbacks will not be replaced by their team until later in their career. So maybe to keep them from screwing this up anymore, let's just edit Stroud's like awareness or something and remember what to bring it back to. What have I missed so far? By the way, really hyped for the Raiders franchise. Leo, we have started the rebuild of our defense in a big way. 81, all right? I'm going up to 99. Now, quit going for Tua. I wrote it down, by the way. I learned long ago not to trust a memory. You should try the big nickel defense package. I think with the personnel we have now, it does work, Michael. Before, it didn't. But getting Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah and Jabril Peppers, that's like the ultimate big nickel personnel. I can't think of two players that help fit that better than adding those two guys. Because, you know, JOK is already basically a converted, like 10 years ago, he'd be a safety. 100%. So I don't do custom draft classes because I prefer in my franchises to just have our own players, our own stories. I'm not concerned with like real NFL prospects, you know. I'd rather have players that we can draft, develop, create their stories, and I think it's more satisfying that way by the end of a series. I hope somebody else offers Tua big money. We have to offer to a quarterback now. Goff is there. Now, so are 8. I can't actually offer to Goff because I don't have the cap space to make a competitive offer right now. 27.9. I can't release Kamara yet. And I'm not really interested in the Carr reunion because the best case scenario is Carr is just good, but he's still going to turn 35 and just keep getting worse. The best case here is like dev trait boost, real development, quarterback of the future type stuff. So I'm looking at accuracy and throw under pressure quite a bit. 75 on Wilson, 77 on Lance, 81 on Tyler Huntley. His accuracies are not terrible. Well, his short accuracy is good. The other stuff, not so much. You know, there's things to like about Trey Lance. There's things to like about Huntley. Ooh, song on the this is from the YouTube audio library, by the way. It's called Top 10. I've had it on for like an hour and a half, and I haven't gotten bored yet. Goff would be good, but I can't offer to him. I don't have the money to actually make the base offer. I don't have the space. He wants 40 a year. Tyler Huntley is 27. Trey Lance is 25. 52 awareness. I want to see what chat thinks. We're going to do a poll. Once I remember how to do a poll. Did YouTube take that away, or I found it? I want to see your thoughts on my favorite options here. What does chat have to say? Did that work? Vote now. Vote now. Vote now. Zach Wilson has more work to do in that throw under pressure. That was kind of a tiebreaker of sorts. It's not so much looking for a franchise quarterback. It's looking for someone who can just start for the time being while we figure it out. Lance is the youngest, too, in this group. As the votes come in, right now, 62% of the vote has Trey Lance. 63% has Trey Lance. It's clear Lance is going to win this poll. I do think with us wanting to be a little more run heavy this year that he is an intriguing option, because maybe we could run an offense that really fits his style too. Huntley could fit that as well. Lance brings more of the power dynamic though. A bit more of it. He has 18 higher strength. He's faster, more agile, better change of direction, stronger arm. It's also a matter of we could bring in multiple quarterbacks, and this could be a battle in the preseason unlike anything we've done before on this channel. Signing 2 veterans. I am interested in offering a deal to Trey Lance. When I think about the type of offense that I've been envisioning since the season ended, it's something that he could fit. I'm also open to signing a second quarterback potentially. Something else I wanted to look at was speedy running backs. And I'd like to bring back Eric Stills. I don't know if I can get this to work here because he should be taking like a really small deal. We'll see if it works. Oh yeah, fullback. I almost forgot about this. Gonna sort by run block. I want to run more I-form this year. Patrick Ricard. You're not gonna want to throw him the ball ever, but he's got the blocking. Reggie Gilliam does have some speed, some decent blocking. Does he have hands? If I want to dump it off, he does. He's a little bit younger too. I'm going to offer to Gilliam. Just a 1-year deal to see if I can even make this role worthwhile. Oh, wow, there are still some receivers out here, too. I actually was kind of intrigued with Deontay Johnson, but then it's like, what do I do with A.T. Perry? I like where he is. I want to sort by release. I need guys who can get off the line. Juwan Jennings shows up again. Yeah, I'm not super intrigued here because, like, I'm playing guys right now that are all young and developing. So to add in a veteran on a team that might not be great to just take away those snaps, not that interested in that. At tight end, we can probably do a lot worse than Josh Oliver here, considering we just lost Juwan Johnson and Taysom Hill. We don't have a tight end on the roster. I don't think a single one. And Josh Oliver, he's a combo tight end. He'll run, he'll block. Not the best route runner, so he's not going to separate a ton. But certainly in our offense, I want to be able to run multiple tight end sets. So this is kind of a need. And he wants to come here. I don't even remember having Josh Oliver in the Broncos franchise. Actually, it's coming back to me now. I'm not sure if there's anything else. Ooh, Jerome Baker became available. I don't think he was earlier. I think that's a recent cut. But I already made 2 moves at linebacker, so I'm not doing more. All right, we got some targets here. Gilliam, Oliver, Lance, and Stills. Now we're all offense, right? Oops. I hit the wrong button. I hit pull the offer. All right. Eval. Decisions made. We have Josh Oliver and Eric Stills coming back. And we have signed a quarterback, but will it be our only one? Trey Lance. Welcome to New Orleans. Now, he doesn't have a lot of playing experience. If we look at his passing skill set, .84 short, 82 deep. He's getting a boost to his deep accuracy because of our coordinator change we made. The other quarterback I'm intrigued with bringing in here is Sam Darnold. Better short accuracy. He'll also get a boost to his deep accuracy. We might try to work in a little competition here. The thing is, though, is do I offer them the same contracts? It's not huge cap hits all the way around. Because this would give us a couple shots. And to do a little preseason competition. See how the season goes. No decisions made. By the way, I can't make this stop. I'm not sure if anyone has like the room for Tua. I can't get him off the Texans. Jets got Zach Wilson back. Will someone please sign Tua? That isn't Houston. I think it's an issue of no one having the money. Let me check salaries and see if that is the thing. $13, $19, $105. Okay, so the Texans have room. The Titans, you could cut someone and make it work. Chicago already has Fields. Why won't they sign him, though? Y'all got work to do over here. Trade for CJ, says Jalen Walker. Oh, man. Does anybody have the room for Tua? I think the Texans are the only team capable of offering him a contract. No, the Patriots. You guys need to get off of the Mac Jones thing and bring in Tua. You guys need a quarterback of the future. You signed Jameis Winston. So that's why it keeps happening. That's the only spot he can go to. Our other option is to go into preseason and wait for someone to sign him and watch it be the Texans again. I don't know yet what my solution is here. Because they should be sticking with CJ. Who's that one team interested? There were like 8 teams, though, in the beginning. And he chose the Texans, which screwed all of this up. Been following your content since the beginning. I speak for the chat when I say that your content has saved a lot of men from self-destruction. Thanks for all you do. Appreciate that, Steve. Thank you so much. Story, CJ gets upset they signed Tua and demands a trade. That is an option. What's going on in this offseason, guys? We got Darnold. We have signed Trey Lance and Sam Darnold to compete at the quarterback position. I don't know what to do with this, though. I don't know if I just have to go into the preseason and like do a trade to get Tua somewhere else. I've already edited Stroud's ratings. The issue that we're seeing right now is only one team can afford Tua's deal at this point, and that's the Texans. And for some reason, they're doing it. Like, the Titans should offer for Tua and then just make the room for it to work. Especially because they have Jalen Waddle. Make the Texans not have enough space for him. That's an option. Waddle told them no. Oh, man. Make Tua worse and then bump the ratings later? Now that he's on a team, I could do that. Because then his contract demand would go down, and then I can just edit it back up, and they can cut the players to make room. I'm willing to try that. All right, Tua's supposed to have 87 awareness. We're going to drop it. And then we're going to drop short accuracy. If I can drop his ratings a little bit, make him more affordable, but still appealing. I need him to be like a lower 80. Or maybe a higher... Yeah, this range. I didn't actually drop him too significantly there, but it does change his overall. We'll see if that works. Because we still want him to go to a team that wants him to start. This is messy. Especially now, is free agency over? We still have one more stage here. Now he wants 40.3 with that change. We'll get it figured out eventually. It would just be nice to have the definitive answer now. I can always edit his contract up to afterwards. We will make it work somehow, some way. Because right now he's going to be a free agent. And we move from free agent mode into draft mode now. So, let's check out the most recent mock. The player that we like, of course, is Juan Beard. They have us taking Clay Addison, a receiver, at 4. The pass rushers don't really go heavily here. I like Marcus Caldwell. He's set to go 7. Dalton Webb. I'm a big believer. He's down to 31? So he's an above average athlete, not like a freak. But the A finesse, B power move, B block shed combination I really liked. I have not traded away Ramczyk or Lattimore, and part of that is because I think that we can move down from 4 and still get a really good player. I also like Andrew Madden, who has like really good size, a little bit freakier athleticism, but he's more like a one-dimensional pass rusher, just power and no block shed. So I like Beard a lot more. Let's say like Beard was taken and he was available, like I'm fine with that. I also like Manny Carr. My big thing is I want to get a really good edge rusher, and I think they're out there. But I want to move down from this pick because I need more. I know mock draft 5 is pretty much exactly what happens, but if I trade down from 4, I ruin the whole mock. Private workouts, all right? So I wanted to get 3 players here specifically. So I wanted to go with Beard because there was still a little bit more I wanted if I'm going to make him our first round pick, and I should be able to get a talent grade on him. And because he's falling, I want a little more clarity. Then I want to get the info on tight end Kevin Blackwell because I think he could also be like a player we trade up for at some point later on, and I think he can start. And then I had some other players on here. I'm gonna go, I might check these offensive linemen. I had Reeves at left guard and McLeod at right guard. I liked McLeod a little bit more. Been watching since the Jags series. Best player you've ever drafted in a series, in your opinion? I know it's a little recency bias here, but Trayvon Randolph was an absolute freak and changed the entire way I played the game once I had him on the team. He's the biggest game changer I think I've ever had. Because I literally, I just started throwing 50-50 balls to him. He'd catch it. I've never been able to do it like that before. And Boogie Turner on defense, of course, yes. I want to see if I got that information correctly. I didn't go into any player profiles. Well, this is why I wanted to complete it. I literally have in my notes that I'd take him at 4 overall. What is the issue? If you're telling me I can get that talent in the second round, but he's projected to go in round 1, I don't see why he's not a round 1 guy. The athleticism is good. The awareness is good. He has the most diverse front 4 skill set out of anybody in this class. He does have, everything else is on the lower end, like tackling, injury, hit power. But still, the stuff that really matters, he passes that test. Well, he might not have a dev trait. Wow. Look at Marcus Byers. So he's a coverage linebacker. And now that I've addressed linebacker, I'm not as needing to target this. But yeah, he looks really solid. I have listed my trade back options. So we talked about Andrew Madden already. At right end, I have 2 guys who are 23-year-old players. And I just think they're a tier down from the more elite players. Jonathan Taylor's a new member on the channel. I appreciate that, Jonathan. Manny Carr, Matthew Russell. You can kind of see it here just on the right. Like, there's no A grades in their pass rushes. They're not, like, great against the run. Athletically, too, they're a step below. But they're still really solid players. I haven't made a move here at tackle, but I thought Jared Schmidt was another player I could trade down for and take in the first if I ended up making a move. He has really good pass blocking. There is, I thought, like an excellent guard here in Sebastian Dillinger. He's a really good athlete. You see all the A's here. And then at safety, even though I took Peppers, I'm still interested in Marcus Caldwell. But now he's got round 1 to 2 talent. And I don't think that safety is, the biggest way for us to make an impact right now. This just got messy with the Juan Beard deal. Now, I have other players I was willing to take in the top 4. So, Dalton Webb. I had him on the list. Speed rusher at 270 pounds. He's a good athlete. He's got A finesse, C power, B awareness. I like Juan Beard's skill set more than him. Can you draft a wild boar in this game? I think if you dig far enough, perhaps. Jerry Pounds, who probably goes number 1. And I'm not interested in moving up. I was actually more worried about him because I didn't complete the profile and there's just a little bit more unknown. And then Javier Garland. Where's he at? Again, just a bit more unknown. The classes haven't been great these first 2 years in terms of that premium talent. And now, I know I still want Juan Beard. Let me save quick. It's just like, what is the first step now? A's and B's are compared in class. He's probably just not that good. Well, even if it's in comparison, he's still, on paper, the most interesting edge rusher I've seen in this class. Either way, guys, we need to get to business. At the end of the day, I need more picks. I need to acquire talent. I need to build a new core. And I don't have enough picks to do it. I am still moving down from 4. And there is no quarterback projected to go in the first 3 rounds of this draft. The Houston Texans open our journey this year, selecting Dalton Webb at 1. Was he in the mock there? Cross him off. Dalton Webb is the number 1 overall selection. Jerry Pounds is number 2. And the Buccaneers ahead of us, James Wheeler. So I need to know what our trade down options are. We're in the 2026 draft, 2025. So I want 2025 picks. The Vikings are offering us a move down to 21. We pick up 53 and a future 3 and 6. 17 spots down with Minnesota. Move down 8 picks, but not get a whole lot that benefits us this year. We're in the same boat we were in year 1. I really want present year selections. So for the Vikings, is it worth it to pick up that 2nd round pick in the future 3? Getting 53 would be nice, and I feel like I have such a good list of players that at 21 I can still get a really good player. That's just, it's still steep to go down 17 spots. I could use that 2nd round pick. I'd really like to. And if Beard doesn't go until 31 in the mocks, let me just scan these again. The Bears were offering us a future 1, a future 2, but they give us nothing this year, which just doesn't work great. The Bucks are offering us a 2nd round pick, but then we don't have a 1st round pick this year at all, which is not cool. I might do a custom trade with Minnesota and see if we can get something here I really like. But there's the framework there for a good deal. Offseason always gets a little messy. Current 4, future 3. I'd be picking up their current 2 and 4, which to me, that could possibly be a starter and a contributor, plus a 3 next year. I might throw in the future 2 and just see what their interest is. I might just throw in the future one. I just want to know what they value in this 17 pick jump. We're in business. I'll throw out the 4. Is there a player maybe I could throw in here that would entice the Vikings? You know, they got some needs at some areas I'm not sure I can really help them. Unless I traded them like Pete Werner. Or I think Alontae Taylor is very tradable with 1 year on his deal. The Vikings, I know, could use cornerback help in here. I was looking at them earlier. Yeah, I'm not sure they like Taylor enough. I know we did sign him this year, which makes it a little more iffy to, like, trade him. But they don't even like him. What do I have for future picks at this point? What if I throw in my future 4 to get this deal done? Because getting the future 1 would be awesome. Man. Howden? I could see if they like Howden. They don't. Might be tough to get that future 1 out of them. Might have to take a 2. The Rams offered a first and a future first. We can maybe work with the Rams, try that out. They got some needs. They don't have a first rounder this year, though. It's too far. I ain't dropping down to the second round. Titans offered 12. They did. Dropping 8 spots, I probably can't do it for this price. I might as well make them say no to it, but 8 spots for 2 mid-rounds would be a dream. And we're close. Maybe we're not that close, though. Yeah, this is hard to really get right. The second round pick, I'd probably be okay dropping 8 spots for the 2. And we ain't there. The wheeling and dealing here is getting a little difficult. The Vikings' original offer was moving down to 21. We get their 2 this year for that cost, plus a 3 next year, and then a 6th in 2 years. That's basically no value. 17 spots for a 2 this year does help accomplish what I wanted. It doesn't feel like enough. But we couldn't get more. I mean, I could probably trade Lattimore, but then it's like, you know, he could be really good for 5 more years. And the chances of getting another Lattimore are quite low. I want to see the Titans situation here at center. Because I would be interested in trading them Eric McCoy. Answers my question. There is a center that I am interested in drafting in this class a lot. Center's one of their greatest needs. If I put in Cesar Ruiz, I'm sorry, Eric McCoy. I keep getting those 2 mixed up because Ruiz at one time I think played center in college a little bit. And I think I moved him there at one point when McCoy got hurt. No, I'm just interested in Tennessee. Really. Jonah Williams in a 7. They always throw in a player to make it messy. All right, I guess we got a deal. We've traded a very solid starting center to the Titans for a 3rd round pick to help us get a little bit more mid-round value in this class. And that pick might be used to just replace McCoy. Regardless, trying to get this team younger, trying to get more picks. I know that one isn't going to feel great. I would have liked to get the 2 there. I'm going to show you who becomes a target. This is not a popular decision in the chat. Here's my target, Jimmy Ward. Highly athletic, strong center with A run block, B pass block. I think he's going to be a pretty complete starter. And I've been trying to get more mid-round picks here. And with McCoy, he's a really good player. But I still think that our competitive window might not be for a couple years. And I wanted to get another pick. If you could just make that 3 this year, Minnesota. I'm once again going to bang my head against the wall trying to trade at the Vikings. Because even though it's a long way to fall, I'm okay with that range because I have a wide board. But I want to get a good price for 4. I don't think I'm going to get their first 3 picks. But we're close. That's close. Okay, if I throw in Howden, who went to school in Minnesota. Not yet. They didn't seem to like Taylor the first time. This team is ridiculous. I don't have a 5 this year. I can try throwing in like a 5 next. I'm sure I could recover from a future 4. What do you mean? Working with this team is impossible. Keep trading away the wrong corner. Make it a future 4. Wait, who owns these picks? A 2 and a 4 this year and a 4 next year. Or do I try to get the 2 next year and the 3 and the 4 this year? Maybe that changes up the value of the picks a little bit. 3 and 4 this year, 2 next year. Because I would still get those mid-round picks that I'm really wanting here. I just wouldn't get the second rounder. And that stings. That really stings. I don't like that. Because I don't want 60 picks between my selections. 2 this year. First next year. Yeah, we're further away. I think they'd probably take this. I don't know if I like it. Future first from Chicago. Getting like 4,000 recommendations for what to do with these picks right now. If I drop down with the Lions, I'd go to 15 and get a future 2. And then a 5 and 6 this year. If I trade with the Colts, I get their 1, 2, 3 to start next year. But it doesn't help me much now. Would my time have expired by now on the clock? Try Vegas. Just work the negotiating with them. 22. That's 1 pick after Minnesota. Maybe they would like our players a little bit more that I was willing to move. Because I don't think Alontae Taylor is going to really play for us. If they like Alontae Taylor or Jordan Howden, that makes the deal a lot easier. Because they're both, you know, somewhat starting caliber. Taylor more so. Be nice to know who liked Taylor a lot. 2 teams. If the Patriots like him that much, he'd play. I'm going to take that deal. That's Alontae Taylor for a 4 this year. I think I can use that to possibly bring in a starter who will actually play. And I think Taylor's actually really good. There's just not room for him, and I'm taking the team in a little bit different direction. I phased Taylor out last year. I have Stoudemire, who had picked off a couple passes late. Still got Lattimore, Tomlinson. Yeah, that was a little side quest there. I like that. I was going to package him, but the Raiders didn't even like him. So I just traded him to a team that did. $22, $54, $118. Now that's the Vikings offer right there. Or was the Vikings a 2 and a 5? I forget. So they won't do that. They don't have a third currently. I feel like the Lions are more willing to negotiate, and it's only to drop 11 spots. Picking up a 2. And a future 3. This is a lot closer, and it's not as far to fall. I want the 2 this year. What if I toss in the future 4 here and just, you know, I want to get my 4 a little bit earlier. We're closer. The reason why I want to keep Lattimore is because I think he'll stay really good for a long time. I think he'll be slower to regress than others. With his production, he could also still go up in dev trait, which would slow down his regression even further. He's not quite 30. I forget what age cornerbacks regress in this game. It's either 30 or 31. Trade down with the Titans offer, and then at number 12, trade out the Vikings or Raiders pick. Most value you can get. I might have to look at this in a 2-part deal because I just haven't been happy with the singular offers of trying to work down the board. I can use 2 trades to get to the 20s. The problem, though, is if that doesn't work out, all I get here is a future 3 and a bunch of late picks. Lions like Werner? Do they? Because that would make a trade a lot easier. Which I think we're all itching for it to finally get done. But I'm hoping to not pick quite this high next year, so I want to make the most out of this trade while I can. The Lions have some interest. The issue, though, the cap space. I'd have to throw in a player on their side, which is going to screw this up, most likely. Like, I have to get the money to fit. So I need, like, their worst, lowest rated player. I guess a 64 overall. And actually, okay, that works. I thought maybe it was a situation where only the top 51 counted towards the cap and not every single player. A 2 now, a 2 later. I shouldn't have to give up more. No. I'm not sure the future 4 is going to make enough of a difference either. Nope. I'd probably have to make this future pick a 3. Which... the main thing is being able to get that 2nd round pick. So I can take a player, maybe at 15, or trade down twice. I'm not even sure the Lions quarterback is right now. Oh, they brought Goff back on a 3-year deal. If I didn't have to include Gardner here, that'd be nice. Does anybody else that we've talked to have interest in Pete? The Raiders did. They can actually afford it without the extra player. 22. I need your 2. Future 2. We got a deal. Finally, we've traded the Raiders, Pete Werner, and our 4th overall selection for their first, a 2nd rounder this year, a 2nd rounder next year, and a 4th round pick this season. Oh my God, that took forever. But I wanted to get a trade that I would actually be pretty happy with. And having the 2 this year and the 2 next year is huge. I wasn't sure if they'd give me the 4. Why are we trading, by the way? Because I want more picks, because I have so much building to do to this team. I want more picks to do it. I wanted to possibly get future selections so that it can help us maybe if we need to trade up for a quarterback next year. And the players I like here are all in a very similar tier. I feel good about the players in the top 5, good about players even in the 20s, but now it's all about who's going to be there. And this trade logic has been tough. So I'm glad we got a deal that I liked. Simon Carter is off the board, top safety. Javier Garland. Marcus Caldwell. Man, if I could just pick like any 5 players in the class, like I would have loved to have him. He's going to be on the Texans. Steelers go Courtney Bryson, wide receiver. The Bears go Sebastian Dillinger. You can't really miss there. Got to cross him off the board. I had a list of players that I thought were trade back options. We'll see if, anyone's there when we get to 22, because it is further than I thought I'd drop back, but I'm still comfortable because one, Beard is projected to go even later. The game might not like him. I'm enamored with him. Shaq Farley is not really on my radar. He was solid. Wide receiver Kevin Boone. Cade Haas. The Falcons just took a deep threat. Deep threat wide receiver, which I think complements their existing roster pretty well. Manny Carr. He was one of my trade back options. He's a 23-year-old average athlete. I just thought he was a tier below the top guys. OTP, I appreciate the super chat. Sal Hayden. So we are 4 selections away, and I have 3 players on my trade back list plus 1 Beard. So at least one of those guys will be there. Clay Addison, wide receiver, USC. Jordan Addison's brother that we just learned about. Matthew Russell was on my trade back list. He was 23 years old, good athlete, just a tier down in skill. And the Minnesota Vikings, who refused to work with me, take Andrew Madden. He was a freak athlete with a power rush. He was just a more one-dimensional player. He just need a sec to cook. That's right. Good cooking takes time, all right? How do you make brisket? In the microwave? Don't think so. It takes a little longer than that. That means on my trade back list, I had a tackle. And then there was Juan Beard, who was on my list of players I would take at 4 overall. Where is he? Where's... Oh. There he is. I'm sorry. Scroll past him, 46 selections. Can I really take a round 2 to 3 talent, though, here? He's going to go soon. I just don't see what makes him a round 2 to 3 talent. He's a good athlete. A awareness, A finesse, B power, B block shed. He's been my guy this whole day. There's been some reports that are trying to knock him down the board. There are some good tackles on the board. But for the most part, the really good edge rushers have now been taken. They've left him. I don't think I can trade back and get him necessarily because he's so high on the available board. I don't know. Maybe there's just a bunch of beasts elsewhere in the draft. Maybe. You know, there have been a lot of surprises when I've seen the overalls for some of these guys that I just didn't see coming. In the final mock, he did go late first. So we know he's not going to last around a lot longer. And I think he can develop into that cornerstone defensive player. And I'm not sure there's anybody else in this first round range now that he's the only one left. They took the safeties I liked. They took the other rushers that I thought were safe picks. Juan Beard. Also, if his talent is lower than projection, he's probably a normal dev player. Probably. This would be an interesting first round pick if I really took him. If Andrew Madden were available, he'd be the safer pick. I want to believe in Juan Beard. He's our selection. I don't think this pick likely works out until we're a little bit further in. This could be Peyton Turner part 2. But I believe in the ability. And I think we can develop him to where he needs to go. In an aggressive, attacking, blitz-heavy defense, I think we can make this work. Juan Beard, no matter what. The Eagles, David Stanton. So by the way, we pick at second round 22. Not bad. There goes Jared Schmidt. Tyquan Hickson was also very good. Chris Kelly. I think I liked him. I think he was on my board. And now we get to the Super Bowl teams. Shelton Davenport, and on to round 2. Cam Graham. That's someone else we're going to have to deal with here. Tight ends on my radar. I liked Cam a lot, but it's a deep class. Take your time. He's basically Courtney Upshaw. Let's not be negative about my selections, okay? I am going to move his position, yes, to defensive end. And I don't know if he'll grade out better there, but that's what'll play in our scheme. So here's our board. So did we ever get more info on... yeah, it was Blackwell. So we got up to 90 on him. He's not going to be coming up until later, but I forgot to check on his more detailed information now. A run block, A catch in traffic. All these guys are injury prone. It's so annoying, but it's just the way the game is. And then I went to guard Tony McLeod. I wanted it to figure out some of these A to C ranges for me. And that it did. That's pretty good. And that's where like an extra mid-round pick might get us a future starter still. Running backs are starting to go. That's how you know the draft is really going now. All right. Let's look at some more of these guys for the second round on my board. I have 53 players still here. Do got some tight ends in this range, but I love the mid-round options a lot. Episode 2 of the Raiders, I don't know what day yet, but it's going to be in the next few. I'm just not totally sure on the day yet. So I think we're getting close to the range where I can start to look at D tackle. And I really like Justin Medlock. 371 pounds. Elite level strength. B block shed, B power. I want to get this run defense better, and that's a pretty good way to do it. I think that this area of the draft really favors the D tackles. It's not just Medlock. There's also Antoine Mickens and Aaron Jones, but Medlock stands out, as you can expect. Jones more the... He has got run stopper archetype, but when I see the skills, I think pass rush. But if he's got run stopper archetype with B finesse moves, that's also a big plus. And then Mickens. Really good athleticism, B block shed. I just wasn't as sure about the finesse moves, but this is mainly a run-stopping, motivated move. He's also a speed rusher who looks to be a good run stopper. So, like these three right here, that's a great way to go next. So excited for the Raiders' slow sim franchise. Make that quarterback Lorenzo a priority. He has good QB traits for slow sim and has great skills. He does look really good, John. I appreciate that super chat very much. Linebacker. Because we traded Werner, you can think about it again. We did sign JOK. We have James Bolden. Wouldn't be a bad idea to get some more. We're an injury away from panicking. So Marcus Jacobs is here. I also like James Pittman, who's a little bit later. So Jacobs is also in this round 2 mix. The safeties are tough, man. I went through them again today. I just don't like the guys who don't go early. I got Matt Watkins here. And I think he could be a good fit in what I want to do, but it's a little more risky because of all the incomplete grades. I'm not as prepared for offense in this range. It's a draft mainly meant to fix up our defense a bit. And I'm not really interested in moving up with these micro moves in this stage because I like the idea of getting like 4 more guys in this draft that can make an impact next year. When we're in the 5th or like the 4th round, then I'll start to be like, all right, let's start to move up and make this a little bit easier. There goes Nathan Booker, Caleb Medlock, Darius Portis, We're getting close. Jeremy Rivers. Brian Hoskins. Matt Watkins. Marcus Jacobs is off the board. And the Vikings ahead of us go with a wide receiver in Chris Payne. It's 21st on the big board. I wish I could see a nice view. There we go. Yeah, I'm not willing to wait until early 3. It's nice to have, you know, we pick at 22 in this round and then 4 and then 12 and 22. Like the cadence is about to be awesome in rounds 3 and 4 because we're never going to be more than like 15, 16 picks away from our next selection. So right now I have 3 3s and 3 4s. Unless I don't own all those. And it hasn't updated nicely. Yeah, I like Justin Medlock here. I really want to fix up this run defense. Justin Medlock is going to be our pick. Another normal dev player. So we got all these hidden dev players in the year 1 draft. This year I've fixated on some guys, and so far both normal. I do think with Medlock, maybe it takes a little bit of time. He's got that C awareness right away. But if this pick works out, we might end up moving on from Aleem McNeil at some point. But let's not get too ahead of ourselves. We've brought in some serious beef here to work on this run defense. So we're certainly working on making this defense more competitive. So now we just got to move to early 3. There's Mickens off the board and Aaron Jones. So the D tackles go, starting with us. We're on the clock again. And we pick again in 8 selections now. So I do want to take a look at the available board quick, just for a scan. If the tight ends pop up anywhere. Tony McLeod's here, and I thought he looked really good. James Pittman's here as well, and I liked him. And then you get to Kevin Blackwell, so you know that he might have to be one of our next 2 selections. And Jimmy Ward's down here. And he looks really good. So I think we need to nail down like BPA between Blackwell and Lovelock. Blackwell has the size advantage. He has elite strength and great speed. I mean, a 270 pounder that can move like this is freaky. A run block. Injury prone, but he looks way too good. Lovelock, 6'6", 249. Great speed, good strength. Not as strong, maybe not as freaky. Yeah, I gotta give the edge here to Kevin Blackwell. It's a teardrop, I'd say. So if we go back to the available board, I might only be able to get 2 of the 3. Tony McLeod's here. James Pittman's here. And Pittman was really the last of the linebackers that I really liked for early play time. Yeah, it's getting thin. I don't really trust coverage outside linebackers as much, but I do like Marcus Byers. I think he looks really solid. Physical, struggles to find the ball in the air though. How is that your trait with a pass coverage archetype? We might be getting closer to that range where it's okay for us to move up. Here's James Pittman. Field general. Good speed. A awareness, A zone, C man. A to C finesse moves too. That's actually a big positive because I will be blitzing these linebackers a lot. And then I think at some point also coming away with Jimmy Ward. I think he could be a plug-and-play center. Talked about him a little earlier. So, Byers looks really good. McLeod is looking solid. Pittman. Kevin Blackwell. They don't have the center Jimmy Ward going a little bit later. And the other thing, too, that we have is that there's a center ranked above him, and I just assume goes earlier. So you can use that as kind of an alarm. If Whiteman goes, then you move up. I do that all the time in these drafts when I like somebody who's under other guys at the position. What do we think about the linebacker comparison here with Byers and Pittman? Because in general, I don't trust these outside linebackers that are coverage focused, but when they're elite athletes and they look to also have good run defense, it's a little bit more of a question. I think what I'm going to do here, I know we don't have a center on the team, and although I like my process of waiting a little bit, I need a starting center. And I think that Jimmy Ward's a really good one. And I like the chances here of getting a hidden dev trait. I think I'm going to ignore that board a little bit and take the guy that I really like here. We got hidden dev. Jimmy Ward. So, last second trade, move off of the center. Eric McCoy. But this is the replacement. It's kind of like a one-for-one swap, you know. Get a little younger, higher ceiling. We can develop him the way I want him developed. Maybe it's a little early. Byers goes the next pick. Curious how good he turns out to be. Been here since the Giants franchise. Ever thought of doing a Madden franchise with fantasy draft? I haven't really found a serious way of approaching it that I thought would be fun long term yet. So both linebackers are gone. A little ahead of schedule. Okay. Not going to be heartbroken. Tony McLeod goes. Might be our time to go get a tight end here. Yeah, that's an easy pick here. Kevin Blackwell is going to be our selection. I really wanted to come away with this pick here. Him and Josh Oliver. That's going to help out our run game a lot, too. And that's something we want to focus on a lot this season. Normal dev, I really thought we could maybe squeeze out hidden dev there. He looked like he had great athleticism, great size, great traits. Just didn't work out that way. But I'm excited to see this one. 77 strength is just a little bit below what like offensive linemen have. And then we pick again and 10 picks. We wanted to load up on some more mid-round picks this year. We did that. 322. All right. So the board starts to get really slim around this time. I don't know if anybody else is going to be on my steals list here. Ooh, there might be. So I had Ward on there. I had Pittman, Blackwell, Lovelock, the other tight end. I would possibly take 2 tight ends in this class. Medlock, who we already took. But I have a couple more D tackles that I don't think their names were called yet. Paul Redman and Danny Tyson. So it would be doubling up at D tackle. Looks like B block shed on both, A finesse moves on both, but more info on Paul Redman. So from a BPA standpoint, he just might end up being too good to pass here. F injury, always. At this point, I'm just kind of ignoring injury, because if everybody has F injury, nobody has F injury. It's not a separator. Not coming away with the safety, it looks like. I've seen some about Mayweather here. Like, we could make it a 3-quarterback, mess. I might. I just don't want to do it here when I can possibly get starters at other spots. I would like to know if he's like in the top 50 available. But if we get to the day 3 picks, I might just take him because I know he's at least a good backup. He's not in the top 50 available. Yeah, Paul Redman. He looks really, really good. 4.7, man. This guy's a freak. Take a QB with your 6th or 7th round pick. A lot of times the good day 3 guys don't even make it that far. You have to maybe look at him in the 4th or 5th. Yeah, Paul Redman could play D-end. He legit could play D-end. I got to get this guy. Hidden development. That's 2. We'll put him somewhere. We'll make it work. Outside, inside. Let's go, man. I'm going to save this quick. I pick again, top of the 4th. It used to be in older Maddens that the good quarterbacks that are still left begin to go in this range, but don't really have a read on it quite yet. There goes Deontay Taylor. Now, linebacker depth, Danny Tyson's gone. So my steals board is now picked clean. Not to say there aren't interesting players left, but those are the players that I thought would be day 1 contributors. All right. Is the quarterback on the board yet? He is. With 3 fourth-round picks, how do we attack? We got a few quarterbacks on the board. I ended up, throwing a couple more guys on there, glanced over them again, but Mayweather's way better than all of them. I have a running back here. What did I like about John Tolbert, the undrafted 23-year-old with C ball carrier vision? He's fast. Did I mention he's fast? Adam Anderson at guard. Ooh, combine was nice. Pass block power, though, on the lower end. Pass block finesse on the lower end. I don't know if I like him here. Brian Glenn, he was UDFA. Then I had Jay Branch at tackle. He has A awareness. Marginal strength, though, is usually a deal breaker for me. But when I saw the A awareness, the B pass block power, I was like, all right, he's good enough to be on the board. But limited ceiling when your strength is that low. I can't run behind you. Here's a UDFA that we might think about who has rounds 3 to 4 talent. Just, we know that would be a good value. I think I only have one linebacker left. Blake Carnahan. So, pretty good athlete. I'm assuming B zone coverage at outside linebacker is awful. But I thought, why not? He's a fast run stopper. Day 3. Might need depth. But I'm not going to address that before some other spots. Corner. Steven Fletcher might not be bad here as we replace a Debo's spot. But even then, I feel like I already have players on the roster. The chances of Fletcher contributing are slim. So right now, the most intriguing players left appear to be Mayweather, Lovelock, and maybe another pass rusher. I am interested here in doubling up at tight end. Eddie Lovelock is the pick. I wanted one of them. I got both. And I think a lot of these things will make a little more sense if the offense vision I have comes together. I think there'll be more 2 tight end sets. And who's to say, who the starting quarterback is going to be? It could be Trey Lance. I don't know yet. Could there be some QB power? Could there be some stuff we haven't seen? Do we think about here making the move on Mayweather? We've already taken 7 players. He might be there at our next pick, but he might not. How about we really make this quarterback battle messy? I think at the least he's a solid backup with really good accuracies. This could all... The thing though, these grades are based on, okay, he's an A in comparison to this whole class. This was not a good quarterback class. No first, no second, no third round prospects. So could B, deep and medium accuracy actually not be that good because this class is terrible? He just happens to be the better accuracy guy. I'm willing to take the chance. David Mayweather. 91 throw power. I want to see those accuracies, though. If that short accuracy touches like 81 and the mediums are mid, 75, you start to think. Whoops, I didn't mean to sim like that. It was only like 10 spots, though. So now, am I better off just trying to trade this one for a future pick? Because I think that we've accomplished basically what we've wanted here. It took a lot longer than expected. It always does. I'm going to do my Raiders offseason for a series I just started, and it's going to take me less than half the time. Because I'm not going to stream it. $2026 4 plus? Beat that. A 4 and 6 next year, an additional 7 this year. Seahawks come into play. I like that. Give me that 4 next year, Seattle. So I feel all right, not as good as I did last year because we got so much hidden dev, like good pick, good value. And in this class, we started off with 2 normals. And we went from having the number 4 pick, and there will be players we could have taken there who will be great day 1 players. And maybe we didn't take that guy when it's all said and done. We moved back for a 2 this year, a 2 next year, had to give up a player in the process. But I'm excited to have that extra pick for next year if the QB class is good and we don't like who we have. And we have loaded up to really build up a new defense. We did make some free agent moves, and all those players are 25 or 26 years old. I know Jabril Peppers is the exception, but I'm still excited to play with him. Safety, is more uncertain for the future than most other spots, as the Ravens are set to pick 3 times in a row. Shout out to them. We're almost done. Let's just sim to our next pick. I got 2 or 3 left to go because, yeah, I got an extra 7th round pick to play with. I only have 6 players here. Morgan Logan. 4.5 guy. A little bit slower. Good release is why he's on the board. Might have some short route running. At best, receiver 4.5. Will you be releasing one of Lance or Darnold? Possibly. I'll see how the battle goes in preseason. If it's clear cut, then I might make a cut. We got Andrew Simpson, a little speedy guy here who's got some deep route running, some hands. Little overlap with a lot of the skill sets we already have. There's John Tolbert, who's the speedy running back. We could address a little more offensive line here. Brian Glenn. I'm going to take Brian Glenn. I'm sure that pick changes the whole franchise. Yeah, I think I'll be streaming preseason. I just got to think of what day exactly because of I got some more stuff coming up this week. I got football tomorrow, Sunday, so like streaming during the football games isn't going to happen. I'm going to take Morgan Logan here because I wanted that release and the short route running. The running back went, though. That's the thing, too. Offensive line injuries happen. Oh, I picked here again. So I'm not going to be taking Tolbert. I already took a receiver. I already took a quarterback. It's already messy enough at quarterback. I didn't really like the fullbacks in this class. I still need to get Reggie Gilliam if he's still out there. I think here I want to take a shot on a linebacker because that's one area now we need the depth. And if I can just get an okay player there with a 4-year rookie contract, I'll take that. Speed, marginal strength, that's not going to work. Great speed. C coverage there. Just give me someone who can run and hit. I'm looking for a speed-strength combination here. Maybe I don't look at middle linebacker. We got other linebacker spots to look. We can make this work still. Solid. B pursuit, C block shed. I can never find these things because it's alphabetized. I wish it were organized in a way that actually like put ratings together that made sense. B tackle, B zone coverage, A to B man. We're going to take Cassidy McLean. It's like one of the last picks of the draft. All right, how'd we do? Welcome to the draft recap now. I'm going to save quick. I'm probably not going to get to a whole lot else because we're coming up on the 3-hour mark. Going to probably get out of here after we check the draft recap. But it's been a fun offseason. Let's see what we got here. All right, 73 in the first round. Like, that's honestly not bad. 5 straight players to start the draft, low 70s. I wanted to get starting caliber contributors. I think that's a hit. 66, 67, 66, 69 on Logan. All right, let's see what we got here. Juan Beard, the player who will define this class one way or another. He doesn't have any elite traits, but he's got a diverse skill set. That's what I liked. And I think that in time, especially if he can hit a breakout chance, like he'll be a focus player. We'll get him some boosts there. I still think this can be a hit. Beard reminds me of AJ Epinesa, a player who didn't make it with us last year. Justin Medlock now 74 at D tackle with high strength, block shed, power. I think he'll be out there a good bit. 371 pounds. And then we got Jimmy Ward here. So, it wasn't a super great trade to get McCoy for a 3. But I knew I could probably replace him with Jimmy Ward and develop somebody who has a higher ceiling. And he's a solid all-around center, too. And I can develop him into the direction I want to take this offense. Moves great. All right. And now Kevin Blackwell, 75 overall tight end, 85 speed, 84 catching, 67 run block. The route running's got to start. 70 is higher already than Josh Oliver. Injury prone, though. That's a concern I was willing to overlook. And then we come back with Paul Redman at hidden dev. And he's freaky. Really freaky. 79 injury is so annoying. 81 speed at D tackle. You can play him at end. You can play him inside. He's 300 pounds. He can make some things happen for us. And then we come back with another tight end. I was right about there being a teardrop between the two. Lovelock probably going to need a little more development. Route runnings on the low end there. His blocking will be fine. I do think he could probably develop into what Josh Oliver is now. And that's fine. We took him in the 4th round. And then David Mayweather. It comes down to his accuracies, how interesting he really is. 84 short, 79 medium. Our coordinator gives a boost to deep, 78. He's not super mobile, but that's at least like you might be able to avoid inside rush. You're probably not outrunning an edge rusher with that speed, but maybe dodging an incoming, defensive tackle. I'm happy with that in the 4th round. And then we get Brian Glenn, just to be a backup guard. Nothing too much to say here. Backup guard caliber ratings. But then we get a receiver here at 69. That's pretty good. Morgan Logan. He's got size. 89 speed. 79 release. That's not bad. I sign UDFAs with this similar skill set all the time. I think here you work on that short and medium route running. Let him be a possession receiver. Not mad at that. Last pick was Cassidy McLean, who might make the team. He might not. We'll see. Now there's a lot of directions. Oh, let me move Beard to defensive end here. From a 73 to a 73. Not much change there. And then I wonder if you move Redmond, what happens, because his athleticism is more edge rush than interior. $71. Either way, I plan to move him around. I'm excited to see what kind of a rookie year he has. But there's a lot of other things you could do at the top of the draft. So Dalton Webb went 176 overall. Let's check devs. Normal at 1. And the thing, too, about Beard, if you're going to have a normal dev player, at least he's got a more diverse skill set, and maybe that gives him more ways of maybe earning and getting to a breakout chance. Jerry Pounds at 2 did have hidden dev, but I couldn't take him. And then James Wheeler went. Matthew Stokes was the player the Raiders got. Hidden dev. Power rusher. Run stopper. 83 power moves on day 1 is nice. Simon Carter at 82. Didn't really consider taking a safety here. But yeah. He's a really good one. That's a lot of speed. Javier Garland. Hidden dev. Passed on him. Little better athlete. Not the diverse skill set, which is something I really chase. I liked Marcus Caldwell a lot, and his overall is 7 lower than Simon Caldwell. '84 guard. Yeah, when I saw his ratings, I'm like, yeah, that's really good player. 96 strength. This is Quentin Nelson. This is like getting Quentin Nelson. The Bears made a good pick. I'd be shocked if that ain't the highest overall in the class. Here's Manny Carr, 72 normal. It's starting to get annoying to scroll down because it kicks me back to the top. But here's the best players in the class. There's no way he was a 76. Jadarius Roby. .92 carrying. But he goes to the Colts, who have Jonathan Taylor. That's kind of annoying. Shelton Davenport was last pick of the first. Roby went in the 3rd. We had 3 picks taken before he was gone. Kevin Blackwell's way up there. So that was good. Andrew Madden. 90 strength, 76 power moves, 87 injury too. A little bit higher than a lot of these other guys. 21 years old. That's a good pick for Minnesota. I'm going to start going through teams because this scrolling is annoying. Yeah, the Bears got James Pittman too. Hidden dev at linebacker. Fast, run and hit with cover skill on day 1. That's nice. He went 3rd round, pick 9. I think a good draft there for Chicago. Big draft for the Bengals. Not a lot of high overall players, though. The Bills go safety, corner, guard. They did a pretty good job, though. Hidden dev running back. Wasn't on my radar for some reason. The Broncos got a tackle and a really good, Tony McLeod. I had a feeling he'd be really good. Hidden Dev. That's okay. I nailed my offensive line pick. The Browns, without a first rounder, took a couple pass catchers and then went defense and guard. The Bucks, tackle, Cam Graham at normal dev, and he was one of the highest rated tight ends in the class. And then Brian Fox. Oh, hidden dev receiver there, Justin Randolph. I think he was on my board. He's got that good release. I wanted to see Brian Fox, another hidden dev player. I think the Bucks did well. Mainly a run stopper. The Cardinals, Julian Harris, Antoine Mickens. The Chargers go tackle, tight end, who I think was the highest tight end in the class, Tyler Good, Miami. He is good. Check Bills again. Pearson was, let's see. Yeah, I think he was on my board. Normal dev, defensive end. But very good pick to get there late. The Chiefs go safety, center, guard. Not a whole lot to take away there. The Colts, Javier Garland early. 74 overall tackle, and then the running back they may or may not even need. Commanders took a good guard early. Cowboys took Davenport, Trey Pounds. Here's Miami. We have no idea what they're doing at quarterback this year. They drafted Jason Dugan, 56 overall. Why not Jason Dugan? Eagles, center, safety, linebacker, all in the 73 to 75 range. Here's the receiver the Falcons took we'll have to deal with. Normal dev, Cade Haas. Has some speed, some downfield ability. Could become a more well-rounded player in time. I appreciate that, Anthony. You have a good night. Jaguars got a couple of good defensive tackles. The Jets, they got that really good safety. They got a really good running back, and then got Marcus Byers. Hidden dev. 69 coverage on zone 65 man. The opposite of injury prone, fast, can run and hit. Would have been nice. But I did not prioritize linebacker for the second straight draft. I got James Bolden early last year. And then we spent our free agency, getting JOK on a big deal. I can't spend too much of our premium assets on the linebacker position. That's not the way I want to build. There's a 76 receiver, Kevin Boone, normal dev. It's not bad. Packers go tackle, corner, linebacker. Deontay Taylor also I liked. Had hidden dev at run stopper. And that's really all he's going to be, is a run stopper. Panthers. A tackle. D-tackle. Not bad. Patriots. Boosting up that defense, it looks like, in this draft. The Raiders get aggressive so they can get Matthew Stokes, but didn't have a whole lot else to show for their class. Jerry Pounds. Clay Addison. I think he was the one I was the most intrigued with from a long-term standpoint because he didn't have the route running, but he had athleticism. Catching was looking good. Release had a good start. So he needs time. I want to see if with my sliders, if guys like him can start to actually develop quick enough and make an impact. We'll see. It'll be hard, but I think it's doable. Yeah, they had a good draft. And there's us. The Seahawks, not too notable. 79 overall receiver, Courtney Bryson to the Steelers. Not bad. 87 release. That's really good for developed players. You know one thing we still got to do? They got Caldwell. We got to take a look at our schedule. I also just want to see that running back I missed on. There probably wasn't a whole lot there, but I'm just curious. John Tolbert, 70 overall. That's not bad. 94 speed. He did have a lot more speed than I was anticipating. That's okay. Let's see our schedule for this year. What do we got? So we open against the Bucs again. We play the AFC East this year. The Jets in week 2, then Detroit. The Bills in week 4 is going to be tough. We do face the Patriots, and then we get San Francisco this year. Giants again, Dolphins, Falcons, Bucs. So the Cardinals, Texans, Panthers matchups don't show up until late in the season. We don't close against a division opponent, which is annoying. The Panther games are both late. A week 14 bye week, yeah. That's late as it gets. I think literally. So I guess the main thing I have to figure out here is what am I doing with Tua Tagovailoa? The hope was that I just see him go to a team and, you know, see what happens. I'm going to make a new save here because I like to have something still at that recap screen. Saints year 3. I'd like to see him just go somewhere. I can edit him to have the contract he was meant to have and the ratings he was meant to have. Yeah, and I have to fix Stroud up too. I know I have a little more housekeeping to do, and I'll be doing that. No worries. So let's just go through quarterback rosters and see what everybody's working with. Yeah, what do we think, guys? This is pretty good? Can we combine all these guys into a pretty good quarterback? Seahawks still got Geno. Kenny Pickett on the Steelers. CJ Stroud and no Tua. I would have loved to see Tua on the Titans. We'll see if he's on any of these teams. Justin Fields on the Bears. Joe Burrow. Josh Allen, Russ, Watson, Derek Carr to the Bucks. Are we facing Derek Carr in week 1? Oh, that's so good. Oh my God. That I couldn't write it better than that. And Tracy was terrible last year, so it's like, yeah, this makes sense maybe to get Carr on there. He's a mentor. Kyler with the Cards. He's on the schedule. Chargers got Herbert still. Mahomes. Anthony Richardson. Good luck, Roby. Sam Howell. Wait. Yeah, that's on the Commanders. Dak. What are the Dolphins doing? Ramon Cruz. If he is their quarterback, he's got a strong arm, no idea what to do with it. Good luck. Jalen Hurts, Desmond Ridder, Brock Purdy, Daniel Jones, Trevor Lawrence. Well, you guys wanted to see Tua on a team? He has a team. It is the New York Jets. There we go. So I can revert his ratings. Tua's got a team. That is not a warm weather team, by the way. They're on our schedule, too. Not that it really matters. Us playing Tua is not really a story, but just throwing that out there. Stays in division is kind of a cool story. Now, I have to fix his contract. Yeah. I'll have to take the time to go back and see what that is when I'm editing. But I can at least edit him and Stroud to be at their proper ratings. Goff still at Detroit. Love stay with the Packers. Bryce Young. Macaroni Jones. Tyler Huntley to the Raiders. So there's a new starter. That's a new starter, actually. The Rams have Jameis. Lamar. Lowballing him wouldn't have worked. I had to reverse the Texans signed him like 4 times. I had to keep vetoing it. They were the only team who had the cap space for his demand is the issue. So the Texans kept signing him, and I had to undo it over and over again. So I lowered his ratings, and he gets picked up by the Jets now. So we have a couple different quarterback changes this year. What I wanted to see is if we begin seeing some teams play new running backs. Like, are there players who have been drafted in this series who are likely now to start? And it can take a year or two before that starts to really take place. But are we there at all here? Okay, so the Browns couldn't keep Chubb, so they've drafted their replacement, Carlos Dorsett. That's one. Gainwell. I have my sliders set up so that veteran running backs regress a lot quicker, and young players across the board are just developing quickly. So you should see rookies take over starting jobs at a variety of positions, but running back's that one that you know is like a young player's position. Guys don't stay, great for a long time in most cases. So I've wanted my franchises to start reflecting that, and I think I got the tools this year. Josh Raymond could be there in a year for Green Bay, but as it stands right now, so far only one running back drafted in series has taken on a starting job. Now, there's also the issue of what we're doing with because we still have Kamara under contract at a ridiculous price. I couldn't cut him during the offseason because he was hurt. He wasn't healthy until probably the draft. So we've obviously put together our team with his situation where it is. So I might just end up keeping him there unless his cap is keeping us from doing something that I would otherwise be able to do. I appreciate the super chat there, Will. Oh, yeah, I got to fix up CJ Stroud. Believe it or not, he's not actually supposed to be as high as an 85. He hasn't developed that quickly in this series. I was trying to keep the Texans from signing Tua by making Stroud better. That wasn't successful. I'm interested to see, too, if there are receivers starting to take on some starting roles. Like, I'm hoping Kentrell Samuel plays this year. But I want to see, like, top 2. Stop burying Montrell Williams under Tim Patrick. Here we go. The Browns drafted a wide receiver 1 this year. That's cool. Sebastian Dickerson. We'll take that. What else we got? DeAndre Hopkins with Washington now. Oh, yeah, Richard Keys. So they were a year early to replace Waddle. They drafted Keys, who was one of the most productive rookies last year. So Waddle walking in free agency isn't a big deal for them. But it looks like their quarterback is going to be Ramon Cruz. I thought the Falcons got Michael Thomas. Did he, like, late retire? What happened there? Amari to the Giants. We play them, too. It was the Panthers? Was it really? I thought it was the Falcons for some reason. Well, there it is. There's your answer. Michael Thomas, Jonathan Mingo, Adam Thielen, Terrace Marshall. It's looking good for the Panthers. Yeah, I'd like to see a few more players drafted start, but there's only so much I can do in the first 2 years of a franchise. The league is what it is. I need more time for the sliders to cook. And we haven't gotten many elite prospects, it seems, either. So, in due time, it'll all come together. Here are the league's 99 overalls. And when we come back with the Saints franchise, we have quite the situation to figure out. Who is our starting quarterback? You got Trey Lance, Sam Darnold, David Mayweather, and then Jake Haener. Those are your main competitors. I'm intrigued, though, with Trey Lance. Really intrigued. Had to do something. He fits the style that we were already deciding to play. I had tried to sign Jordan Love and failed. I actually could not offer him more money than I really was because I was offering him to take our cap space to 0. Love would have been a good fit. So it looks like Kamara's back for another run. We'll see what we got this year. Should Puka win the Offensive Rookie of the Year? Good argument for it with historic numbers. But when a quarterback does as well as Stroud does, you pretty much never beat that guy. I would say in terms of like, you know, Puka's receiver season versus Stroud's quarterback season, I'd probably go edge to Puka because of the historic numbers. And I know it doesn't count, but he also had an excellent playoff game. But like Stroud winning it isn't like a bad situation. It's just quarterbacks always like, you know, they get the awards. So I'm going to need to sign some edge depth. I have a lot of defensive tackles. I've been known to be a collector. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. Oh, yeah, you can't forget this signing, too. The X Factor. Jabril Peppers. What are we going to do with him this year? You'll see. But I think I'm going to shut it down for the night, everybody. Fun off season. Good work tonight. A little messy, but it was going to be messy with how much work we had to do, and it wasn't going to be a straightforward off season to accomplish what I wanted done. But we're on to year 3. We got preseason coming up. We got, when I do the edited off season, I'll summarize this a lot more than 3.5 hours. And I'll probably have UDFAs in there and all the other good stuff I'll have to show you. But that is going to do it for tonight, everybody. Thank you all for coming. If you haven't already, subscribe. Do that now. And if you haven't left a like, I'd appreciate that as well. Yeah, these tight ends can probably be good fits at fullback here. A little tall, but that can work for Eddie Lovelock maybe. I'll have to see if I still want Gilliam. Have a good weekend, everybody. This is here to kick off the football. You got playoffs Saturday, Sunday. I've got a Raiders off season coming in that brand new series on the second channel. I got a big game coming in the A's franchise. A lot of fun stuff here across the channels. But that is it for this Friday night. Take care, everybody, and I will see you all next time.